Well, to me, it's like I hear the best music comes when you can hear like really deep relationships between the people that are playing, and for me or for anyone, any one of the great, hugest Minutemen fans, hear you and Dee Boone together, you could hear this intense relationship between the guys that went way beyond sound or music or anything. Yeah, it's just this heaviness that you could feel, this heavy emotion, and it wasn't like, to me, I mean, for you guys, because, it's different because you're inside of it,
No, but we realized it. It was economy.
On the outside looking in, it just sounded like these guys who just, I mean, even you're playing this really complicated shit, it's just like you were just doing it and playing it, and there was no, like, it was just like it all sounds so natural, and just, like guys just going for it, totally primal.
Right. But without Dee Boone, seriously, I wouldn't have... kids who play the bass, it's not about one big bass solo, man. It's about setting each other up, about working with each other.
Well, I think you said it's about, like you said,
like
it's
changing
the face of music. I think that's what it is. I think that what you're talking about is mostly people's considerations of the instruments and their roles that they play.
Yeah, I mean, like,
and as artists, personally, my whole trip is going beyond, especially other people's boundaries, let alone their considerations of what reality is. I'm only interested in my own and letting them flow.
Building that house.
To cheese.
What about Maiden's Milk? You play 1,000,000 notes there, but then you set up a groove where you guys can whistle. You have to have that thing so intense and ingrained on there.
I'm just into the open-minded thing and allowing it to, there being there's a structured part that everyone considers this is what the bass does. That's fine, I'll do that. And then there's also a point over here where I don't even know what the bass does. Let's turn it all the way up and stick it in a fountain.
Make people
Jell-O.
think about what it really is.
To me, it's like, I hope it is never either way,
Yeah.
I hope that people just get together and play and do their thing and not try to be like anyone and fit into any sort of set of pattern or anything like that. Because to me, it's like we're about to get Les on the phone, right?
Right.
Like his thing is like that totally, right? It's like the bass accompanied by guitar and drum.
Larry, the perfect straight man. Larry would be a bass player if it was 15 years ago, wouldn't he, right? His lead guitarist, Larry Lamont. He would be a bass player 15 years ago.
Yeah, so that's cool, right? I mean, that's great. Those guys are great and everything.
But that's a good idea, though, to screw with maybe some imagery like that.
Yeah, but it's great. I mean, it's great. I think it's great to fuck with everything.
Right.
And all good art is always when you put one thing next to another that don't belong together. That's when things are great, always. That's the only thing that ever makes anything great, but...
Sometimes you need variety. Yeah. Dude's doing it, dude's not doing it.
To get my, extremely wishy-washy Charlie Brown-esque thing there too, I think, that anything is great, that's where I think considerations can lead to. When it will be beyond considerations, the next step, you're talking about growth amongst humankind in general. And what are we going to get to? What's the point of existence at all, Let's get down to...
It's taking turns, listen to each other, express yourselves. Isn't that the bottom line?
Well, that's one option. Or
have freedom to bail.
Or else it's, using each other as food.
Right. But I don't want kids to grow up like you guys. If they understand punk, they won't do that. They know that was the biggest insult.
Yeah, but that's always like that. I mean, through the ages, there's always like a few people that do something that's original, then there's 10 billion people that copy it.
But I had to learn English. I had to learn English to talk to you. I had to learn English to talk to you.
Yeah, but then you said
26 letters, just like you.
Yeah, but then you said what you wanted
take it
to
from
say.
there, right? Yeah.
I mean,
why can't these kids understand this that way too?
Because they're diffused with popular culture, which is a
cliche and stereotype, right?
It's human nature. I think it's humankind. That's
We're human.
I think
are we that much different
by what we are? We are just a certain little, pronged creature, and it's just...
Yeah, and look at this. We were given the broom and told to mop the floor. But what did we do? We came up with a way of mopping that form in such a way, we ended up changing part of this thing I'm talking about nowadays, this change in the music. I don't think it's alternative hairstyle and clothes. I really think there's a deep music thing, and a lot of it's bass.
Well, it sounds, it's religious kind of stuff that we're talking about here. I think you're talking about what's the point of existence really heavily, and why not just be a murdering control.
No, people. What I'm trying to say is
just kill yourself.
People got things to say. They got to use tools. There's certain tools out there. Some tools have been put in the outhouse.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Some tools have been given the burden of being His Holy Majesty. To me, that's just as bad. I think there's a great benefit to being a bass player because people don't really know what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, I think that if you play the bass, you could really make some friends. I made all my friends that I have over the years. I made through my bass playing, pretty much.
I think I've developed a national reputation as an irksome little shit playing bass.
You think it came from bass?
No, I think it came from me, and I think it all comes
Because that's kind of the way I played bass. As I know I was supposed to back up D Boone, I had to
right,
spar.
But I think those things come from what people think of each other.
Hey, Les, we're rapping.
Hey, Les, it's Flea.
Hey, man, what's happening?
We're just sitting around here. What are you doing?
Can you get him over that mic there? All right, boss.
So, how's your bass today?
How's what?
How's your bass?
Mighty fine. Got a couple of them sitting around here.
Good.
About to get it wet.
Les, we're talking about the bass now. What did you think the bass used to be like when you were a kid, before you played it? What did you think the bass was?
Bass was like the instrument that nobody wanted to play. That's why I played it, because I knew I'd be able to get a gig.
The Beatles?
All right, yep, I agree with you.
What about Paul McCartney, Les?
Everybody wanted to be Van Halen. Paul McCartney's King Daddy, man. I love that guy.
But I grew up listening to those guys somewhat, and I thought the bass was just like bloopy and bitchin'. I don't know. I never didn't like it.
The same thing. It was like the second fiddle instrument.
Right.
But yeah, to me it was never like that.
Noise-making thing.
No, because you were a musician, you knew.
I was just, it just seemed like just as cool as anything else. And I could,
It gets down to like putting all your eggs in one basket, which has never been a good idea. So if you're aligning yourself against the guitars.
All right. Yeah, Les, did you ever have to work for a guitar player?
Oh, yeah.
So you played that role?
Yeah.
It was a role, huh?
But, the first guy I ever played with was always, it was always the three-piece thing,
Right.
We maybe had a singer, but I was always encouraged to go off and do some improvising.
But what happened to Lorna Doone and Sid Vicious and people like this?
Lorna had a
Do you
gig
think
last year.
people
She was
like
doing
this
B-52s.
have kind of changed music? I mean, the idea of punk rockers not knowing what bass was supposed to be?
Are you talking to me?
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's, bass is the big rock bottom thing that puts the sperm count up in your balls, and a lot of the punk rock,
Come on.
guys went out there and just bashed the hell out of their basses with their picks going and quarters or whatever the hell it took, Whereas when I was in high school,
right,
everything was a little more, prim and proper. The punk thing was just starting to come through, and a lot of the purist guys just kind of freaked out on that shit.